What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of options in the transfer portal because, look, early signing day has come and gone. Tennessee does have a few targets out there that they will look to get signed come February. I'll be breaking down some of those coming up over the next few days. But it's time. It is transfer portal season. You know, we're going to have multiple waves. It's like you get that big wave right as the regular season ends. And then you have another wave after early signing day. And then you're going to have another wave once you get through spring practice. It is what it is. It is the new college football. And the thing about the transfer portal, I don't think that you can live or die on the transfer portal, but you can go out there and you can add a guy like Javonte Payton. You can add a guy like Dejon Terry or Caleb Tremblay, guys that you can kind of fill in little holes and needs that you missed along the way. But I there's good to it, there's bad to it, but we'll get into it. As always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that thumbs up just below the video. Helps the channel and the analytics. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you. So come on in, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop new content. But let's dive right in. Let's look at the first option here out there in the transfer portal. And both of these guys have connections to somebody on the coaching staff or within the University of Tennessee. That's why we're presenting them to you today. But here's the article. It says, report Ducks defensive lineman Jason Jones to enter the transfer portal. The article here says Oregon Ducks may have added to their already impressive defensive line with a commitment from the class of 22. And that's the thing, guys. When you start seeing guys come in, new recruits, if you feel you're being recruited over, or it's about playing time, or it's about coaching changes, which seems to be the case here. It says Jones has entered the transfer portal according to a report from Matt Zenitz on Twitter. Jones is a former four-star recruit and was previously committed to Alabama before making the decision to come to Oregon in the class of 2020. Says here he did not play at all in 2020, but started all 13 games for the Ducks in 2021 with 19 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Says he's a huge run-stuffing presence up the middle. Jones should get plenty of attention on the transfer market if new head coach Dan Lanning is not able to convince him to remove his name from the transfer portal and remain at Oregon like he did with running back Seven McGee. That's the thing. That's again, the new world of college football. A head coach has got to recruit their own players back. We talked about it with Hendon Hooker and how important it was for Josh Heupel to recruit him back for a super senior season. And obviously we know that Hendon Hooker is now coming back. The next big recruit on Josh Heupel's radar should be Cedric Tillman. But when you look at Jason Jones, his stats might not jump off the page, but he does have experience and the connection to Tennessee. It says there he was originally committed to Alabama, but he was also being recruited heavily by Auburn. And Coach Rodney Garner was on the coaching staff at Auburn doing the recruiting, leading the way. So will Rodney Garner give this a look? And, you know, I feel pretty good about the defensive line, but the reason I mentioned Jason Jones today is Brent Hubbs did mention him on VolQuest, didn't really, go into too much detail or say that Tennessee is definitely going down this path, but it was just interesting that Brent Hubbs mentioned it on their podcast and mentioned this name. But when you look at his scouting report coming out of high school, he's got all the athletic ability in the world. I truly believe a guy like this could come in under Coach Garner and shine. But will Coach Garner go down this road? Will he take a look? I feel pretty confident about the defensive line. Look what we had this past year. And yeah, you got to find a way to replace a guy like Matthew Butler. Caleb Tremblay was a one and done. I'm not sure if Coach Rodney Garner or Josh Heupel will go down this road, but again, worth taking note. Now, the other one that I want to take a look at, because again, Tennessee's going to have to mix and match. They're going to have to pick and choose. And I feel like that's really why we've not seen any activity in the transfer portal yet, is Tennessee is evaluating every single player that goes in, and they're going to pick and choose and be selective versus just taking the first guy that comes up. Go back and look at Mincy from Florida. The guy's 1,000% committed to Tennessee before ever getting a scholarship. Now it's signed and done. He is coming to Knoxville, but Tennessee is being selective, which, again, they're in a good position to be able to do that. This next one is a position that I think Tennessee should definitely look at, and that is the wide receiver position. One of you over in the Talkin VAWLS Facebook group mentioned this one to me. Trey Palmer at LSU, his name is in the portal, and this is a guy, when you look at his stats. You look at his stats through the 3 years he's been in college. Freshman year, only 1 reception. 2020, 10 catches, 108 yards. 2021, 30 catches, 344 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But I feel like a guy like a Trey Palmer could come in and be the Javonte Payton that we need. You know, obviously, Javonte Payton comes in, one and done. Cedric Tillman. Are we going to get Cedric Tillman back? I feel pretty good about him coming back. But regardless, VAWLS Jones Jr., Javonte Payton, out. I think wide receiver is a position that you need to go and get at least one guy, at least one experienced guy, and then hope that a guy like Jalen Hyatt comes along. One of those young kids, Jimmy Callaway, Jimmy Holiday, Walker Merrill, one of those guys comes along and you develop them over the offseason. The article here says, not all the news coming out of Baton Rouge today is positive. After Miles Brennan announced his return, Miles Frazier transferring to LSU, we have the news of wide receiver Trey Palmer. According to Matt Fortuna of The Athletic, the talented return man is putting his name in the transfer portal. Palmer joined the Tigers in the 2019 recruiting cycle. He was the number 18 wide receiver and number 6 recruit from the state of Louisiana. In 3 seasons with LSU, Palmer caught 41 passes for 458 yards and 3 touchdowns. All of his touchdown receptions came this season as a starting receiver in Jake Pete's offense. He was also a return specialist each season with 1 punt return and 1 kickoff return for touchdowns in that time. And again, you're talking about a guy that comes in and can replace VAWLS Jones. If you got a guy that can make impact on special teams, kill 2 birds, 1 stone. I like Trey Palmer. I like adding an experienced guy, a guy with SEC experience, into the mix of Josh Heupel's offense. The article here goes on kind of to talk more about LSU, what they've lost, what they need to replace. But again, Trey Palmer, when you look at the scouting report, all the physical tools, good height, good lean frame. He's long, guy that can play on the outside or the inside. I think this is a guy that you could use to replace a VAWLS Jones Jr. But it's going to be interesting to follow the transfer portal over the next few weeks. But again, once we get into January, once we get through spring practice, it is going to be ongoing. So we'll see how this staff does. I feel pretty confident about this coaching staff's ability to evaluate talent. We've seen it not only in the transfer portal with a guy like Javonte Payton, a guy like Dejon Terry, but we've also seen it in the class of 22 with the recruiting rankings. You know, because of the COVID season and high school seasons, a lot of those kids, their junior seasons got canceled. So there wasn't a lot of tape. But I like the fact that this coaching staff went in, evaluated talent, and then those guys got bumped up by recruiting systems. How many times over the last 10 to 15 years have we seen it the other way around? It's the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Auburns that are recruiting guys, and then you call it the Bama bump. All of a sudden, Bama recruits a kid, they go from a 4-star to a 5-star. Well, we saw that a lot this year with guys that were on Tennessee's recruiting board. So I trust this staff's ability to evaluate talent, and I also trust their ability to develop talent. So you know the deal, guys. Hit that comment section. Let me know, what positions do you think Tennessee should pursue in the transfer portal? Me personally, I would like to see a wide receiver. I would like to see an offensive tackle, as many offensive tackles as you can get. That seems to be a problem all across the country, finding a good quality offensive tackle. But also on the defensive side of the ball, the obvious one that slaps you right in the face is linebacker. If you could get a couple of linebackers in the transfer portal, what does Juwan Mitchell do? A lot of people, a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation that he is going to be transferring out. I've not seen any confirmation on that yet, but you're going to need some help at linebacker, safety, defensive back. Man, there are so many holes on this team. There's a lot of talent, A ton of talent coming back, especially on offense, but you got to find a way to replace a guy, maybe at wide receiver. I would like to see a running back, but you guys know the deal. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What positions should be the priority? If you have not done so yet, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, you can check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' VAWLS. Go buy yourself a Christmas present. Celebrate yourself. Do something for yourself. Buy yourself a Christmas present. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin' VAWLS. But we appreciate any and all support. Got a basketball video coming from the Indy Kid a little bit later today. Going to be breaking down that Tennessee-Memphis game coming up on the weekend. And also those guys will be live immediately following that basketball game. So make sure you tune in for that. But that is going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we crawl home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm